Hey girls, it's Miss Katie, and I'm going to teach you a really cool activity to get you ready for some underwater adventures. Hello girls, and today we are going to be making some underwater sea goggles out of some toilet paper rolls, some string, plastic wrap or a plastic bag, scissors, and some glue. So, it's very simple, very straightforward, and we're going to use these goggles every time I take you guys on an underwater adventure. So, in order to go underwater and see clearly, we need the gear to do that. So that's what we're gonna make. We're gonna make the goggles. How goggles work, actually, for underwater, our eyes cannot process. So light comes to us in wavelengths, right? So light comes to us in wavelengths, and the way that our eyes are designed is that we're used to the wavelengths of light, which are the different colors and everything, passing through the air. Now, when it passes through the water, it's different, and our eyes are not adapted to that. I mean, we can see decently, right? Like, we can see enough. We can kind of see where the bottom is, you know, we can see where the stairs are, we can see our friends, but they're blurry, right? So what goggles do is they add a pocket of air between us, so between our eyes and the water, so that we can see. So that pocket of air lets us see it the way that we're meant to, which is through air, and that's how we can see our underwater world and explore it more clearly. So what you're gonna need is 2 toilet paper rolls. You can actually use one if you wanted to, and split it in half if you'd like, because we are gonna be cutting them down. Some string. Now what I did is I already went ahead and measured it, is I wrapped it around my head and cut it, and kind of, well, I didn't cut it while it was on my head. Made a note of where it was on my forehead and cut it there. So this is gonna fit right around my head, right? And then just a plastic bag. You can use plastic wrap. You probably only just need one bag. This is gonna be our glass, right? This is gonna be our glass between our, that keeps the water out of our goggles. And then glue, you can use either liquid glue or, like, I have a hot glue gun, so I'm gonna use a hot glue gun. So to get started, toilet paper rolls are very long. We don't want them that long because it's quite a big pocket and we look kind of funny. And actually, it'll create kind of like a tunnel vision. Let's see if I can get it there for you. It'll create kind of a tunnel vision, and it'll actually close off a lot of what we want to be able to see. So we're gonna cut it. Here I have some scissors. I'm gonna wipe them off. I got some flower stems with them earlier. I went out and got some flowers. Okay. You might want to squish them down a little bit, make cutting a little easier. I'd say you only want to cut them about 1 inch thick, maybe a little bit more. You don't need a whole lot. So we're gonna cut it, I'd say about there. Let's cut it straight across. Okay. We'll go ahead and use the same one. Like I said, you can use 2 of the same ones. I'm gonna try to make them as even as possible. I'm gonna line them up like this. Okay. And we're gonna cut it like that. Okay, so now we have 2 that are about even. These are what's gonna go on our eyeballs, right? So this is the little pocket of air that we're gonna use for our underwater adventures. Now, keep in mind, these aren't for actual underwater. This is for our imagination. So, next thing you're gonna wanna do is have a marker here. You can use a marker, you can freehand it. I just happen to have a marker. I wasn't necessarily planning on needing one. Is we're gonna cut, because it doesn't need to be exact. We actually want a little bit of extra leeway space around it. This is just for me to kind of eyeball it. That actually might be too big. You know what? Go for something like that, kind of a little bit bigger, because we're gonna wrap it around. So I'll do one big one there, and then another kind of bigger one there. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and cut these out. Now, if you want, you can decorate the outsides of your goggles. So Sharpies, paint, glitter, whatever you want, you can go ahead and decorate it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out very carefully. Oop. Now that I'm thinking about it, my bag has two sides, so we'll just use one circle. I'll make two of them because it's already folded over. You'll see what I mean in a second. I'm talking to myself here. Okay. We're gonna cut it like this. So you know how bags, right? You have two sides where they open up. This should open up into two pieces. Yes. Okay, this is very stuck together. So give me a minute here. Let me. Oh. They are very, very sticky together. Oh, goodness. Come on. If you can get them apart, that would be great. Even with my long nails, I'm having some trouble here. So if you can't get them together or get them apart, that's okay. Let's cut another circle. Yeah, that one does not want to come apart. So we'll go ahead and just cut another circle. No biggie. Again, it doesn't need to be totally perfect, just as long as it's going to cover the ends of our goggles and kind of wrap around the side a little bit. That way we'll make sure we have a secure seal. Okay, see now this one wants to come apart. Funny that. Okay. So, see how this one wants to come apart? We'll go ahead and use this because these two came apart. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay them over top one end of our goggles like this, and we're gonna glue it around the sides. So like I said, personally, I'm going to be using a glue gun. Oh, but you can use liquid glue. I gotta work fast with mine, so I'm gonna do half and then do the other half. Oops. If you're using a hot glue gun, be very careful. Very, very careful. I'm actually using my nail. Okay. There's one half of it down. Get the glue gun and do the other half. Okay. Just right along the edge here. Okay. You want to try to make it as flat as possible. That way it won't really hinder what you're seeing. There you go. Easier said than done, of course. It can be a little tricky. Just do your best. Okay. So there's one. And then we are gonna go ahead and, oops, stuck to me there for a second. Hate it when it gets all that stringy bit on it. Oh, that's so annoying. we're gonna go ahead and do that the same for the other one, and then I'll tune back in. All right, the hard part is over. So these two are glued, right? So this is our glass. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue them together, like so, like that, right? So that's gonna be how we're gonna see out of them. Okay. Actually, if you need a little bit of space, it depends on every person. If you need a little tiny bit of space between the two, if you have extra, remember extra of our toilet paper roll, I would just cut a little tiny bit of that, right? Let's see, I'm actually gonna cut it about there. So it depends on everyone's face. Everyone's face is shaped differently. So for some people this will work, some people won't. You can go ahead and just cut a little extra, put a little dollop on each side here, and this will kind of create a bridge between the two. So we'll go one side and the other side. Okay, so now they'll look like this, right? I'm gonna give it a little bit more glue just to be on the safe side. Again, if you're using a hot glue gun, be very, very careful. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a bend, smush them. Okay, give this a second to dry. And then for our very last little bit, we're gonna take that string that we measured, and we're gonna glue one end and then the other end. So it'll go like this, right? So we're gonna glue the one end to it. I like using a good amount of glue here just to make sure it really holds on. Okay, so there's the one side. I'm gonna go ahead, instead of using my finger, I'm gonna kind of press it down a little bit with a piece of scrap cardboard. There we go. Okay, and then all the way over to the other side. Yeah, it looks like I have such a big noggin. I think it's because I measured it over my hair too. Just for a little extra room. We're gonna take this side and we're gonna glue it down. Oop, running a little low on glue here. It's okay, Miss Kitty has a whole stash. Perfect. And let them dry. And there you have it. Your very own pair of underwater seafaring goggles.